film no matter what. Like that's kind of Jack's motto. Like if he got shot, he'd probably be filming it. Like that's the type of person he is.
Yup, it's TMZ Verified the podcast. I'm Wyld.
I'm Steph. Welcome back.
Welcome back. We back early this week because some shit went down over the weekend where Jack Doherty, he crashed his McLaren. And it was the craziest live stream I think I've seen in a while. Honestly, okay, I know this is not appropriate, but like it looked so fucking cool. But it also looked so freaking dangerous. And we got Jack's brother, Michael Doherty, on the podcast today. Michael, what up, man?
How you guys doing?
Hi.
So Mike's ass was a part of the mix. So in the car, there was Jack, and then there was Michael David. And then behind them, there was Michael Doherty, Jack's brother.
Yeah, I was with McKinley. We were about a mile behind the accident, and me and McKinley were vibing, listening to like some EDM or house, and then all of a sudden, like traffic just stops, like out of nowhere. And I turned to McKinley. I'm like, I think someone just got in an accident, because why else would traffic stop? And it was raining pretty hard. And then about 5 minutes later, we get a call from Jack screaming, crying, like, I just totaled my car. And my first instinct is like, oh my God, like, is he okay? Like, is Michael David okay? So we floored it onto the shoulder, got up to them, and then we saw Jack and Michael David. He had already cleaned up the blood on his head, but I saw a big gash on his filmer's forehead, and then like some other cuts. And then I just gave him a nice big hug, because I was scared if he was, injured or anything.
Well, first things first, we're glad everyone's okay, first and foremost. But in terms of news, everyone's kind of concerned about, there's a couple things. Was this crash planned, for the views? They're upset with your brother because he was trying to film instead of asking if his passenger was okay. And there's so many things like that. What right now in your mind do you think people are most mad about this crash?
I would say the thing that people are most mad about was, there's actually 3 different things that people are really
they're pissed about a lot of things.
You forgot one.
Yeah, they're pissed. I mean, in general, it's like people are always mad at Jack because, he flaunts his wealth a lot, and people are jealous of that. And then also, I think people just like to be mad at him. So that's, no matter what happens with Jack, people are going to hate him. But people are mad about that he was, texting prior to the accident. From my knowledge, he wasn't texting at the time of the accident or looking at his phone at the time of the accident. But I think people are mad about that. They're also mad, that he wasn't able to control the car, and he hydroplaned. And they're also mad about, of course, what happened with his filmer. But from Jack's side of the story, from what I heard, his filmer is the one that actually volunteered to film. Like, he grabbed the phone in the car, and that's why they were both looking for the phone, because Jack's staff, they know what their job is, film no matter what. That's kind of Jack's motto. If he got shot, he'd probably be filming it. That's the type of person he is. He's been wired to do that. For people that don't know Jack, he's been like this ever since he started. He's been so dedicated. It doesn't matter if he's dying, he's gonna freaking film it. So,
all right, I want to start from the beginning though. So, whose idea was this? When y'all sitting in a circle, whatever y'all doing, chilling, who was like, all right, yo, hit the McLaren. We're going outside. It's raining. Whose idea was that?
So we were actually headed to a racetrack because one of his friends had rented out the whole racetrack, and we were headed there. And I was driving behind him in the Tesla, and he took the McLaren. And then.
All right. So what was so this wasn't you guys didn't sit around and plan where about the live stream specifically, this McLaren race. How did it get on live stream? Because it sounds like y'all were on your way to an event, and then y'all happened to get on live stream. How'd that work out?
Yeah, so we were on our way to the event, and Jack was like, all right, let's start the live stream, because what he tries to do is get people as you're going to the event.
That's kind of what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened.
So after we seen the crash happen, we seen you run over. We saw, I think her name is Michaela. Am I saying that right? McKinley run over.
His girlfriend.
All right. So Jack seemed like he was cool, but it's been a couple days. Like, is he all right now? Like, is his body aching? Like, how is he?
Yeah, like the next day he woke up, his neck was hurting. He has like a big bump on his head. But I think other than that, he's fine.
He didn't have to like go to the hospital or anything?
He declined treatment. He didn't want to get treated. He thought he was fine. So
okay, what about the other dude, Michael David, that was bleeding in the passenger seat?
Right. Yeah. So he went to the hospital.
Oh.
He had to get stitches on his forehead. No concussion, luckily, and no other injuries other than when he was getting actually dragged out of the car. I don't know if you guys saw the video when like the people broke the window.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When he was getting dragged out, someone popped his shoulder out and then he popped it back in and then started filming. Like, if anything, this filmer is like as crazy as Jack is. Cause like, I know if I was in the car with Jack, I'd be like, fuck you, I'm not filming.
Right.
But like if anything, the filmer's as crazy as Jack. Like he literally is like bleeding and he's like takes the cameras. Like, I was just like, what the fuck is like, I pulled up to the accident and I was just like, what the fuck? These people are crazy. Like they're both just filming like nothing happened. So
the vibe is just don't stop no matter what. We're live streaming. And the platform was on Kick, correct?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
And the big issue here is that Jack is now banned on this app.
Right.
Because of texting and driving and the whole situation. How does Jack feel about that? How do you feel about that?
I know he's definitely kind of sad about that because Kick is kind of his, like, I would say part of his main source of his income. So I know it's affecting him a lot. And then of course, on top of that, he just lost, over $250,000 on a car, almost lost his life. So it was pretty hard on me and my family. I know we took it, like, at first we were pretty scared. Now we can kind of joke about it, but it was probably one of the scariest days. But I think him being banned from Kick, at least temporarily, is a good thing because I think he needs to learn his lesson. Like, you're not invincible. And I think that kind of struck with him a little bit after the accident. So that's kind of how I feel about him getting banned.
Is the car total completely like unfixable?
Yeah, that like the whole front of it just doesn't exist anymore. It's gone.
Damn.
It's like all over the highway.
You can see that in like the video, but you don't know if like
maybe
you
know,
take it
right?
and you're like,
oh,
yeah.
All right, here's my question though. So like when these things happen, because this isn't like the Jack, he kind of just does this like stunning type shit, which like I think a lot of people think is kind of cool, whether most people like it or not. But like, who pays for the injuries? Like Michael David right now, his injuries, like who's gonna cover the hospital bill?
Yeah, Jack covered the hospital bill. I know Jack sent him like $10,000. He just bought him a jet ski. So that's kind of what happened with that.
Well, that's a good way to run things, honestly. It's like, can't stop, won't stop. And if it does stop, I'll help you out.
And if you die, a jet ski coming your way.
100%. I love that plan.
That one got me, yeah.
All right, so like a lot of, now that this shit went down, a lot of people, and it's kind of been a conversation for a while with like certain stuff, like we should not be making this type of content. And I think that like, I mean, like taking like us out of it personally, like Jackass was a thing when we were kids, and like there was a lot of these like America's Stupidest Videos, like a lot of these types of things. But like now we're seeing it like streaming like directly into young kids' homes. Do you think that like these things should not be on streamers or on social media at all? Like, do you think we should have some type of like, don't show this to kids, or do you think it's just like a free for all?
Well, I think there definitely should be a level of like people that are over 18 should be watching certain stuff. I think that's definitely an aspect. I also think, I think kids probably shouldn't be watching it. So, and what was the other question that you had?
No, that was it. Another question for you though. So, like Steph said, Kick has essentially like banned Jack off of the platform. Do you think he should be allowed back? Not like from his brother's standpoint, because obviously, but like, just from like looking at the situation, do you think he should be allowed back on Kick?
That's a tricky one. I think he should be banned for a little while and then eventually be able to get it back, but I'm not sure exactly what time period, and I might be a little bit biased on that. But another thing about Kick, I mean, like a lot of the fan base is also like really crazy. Like they send you death threats, like it's also really risky doing it. So
Yeah, the internet's a weird place. Go ahead.
Do you think Jack's going to stop filming and driving? Or do you think this will not stop him from live streaming on the road? Because obviously, I assume he wouldn't text again, but...
Yeah, he's definitely not going to be the one driving. I think he wants to get rid of a lot of his cars. I know he texted my dad and he said to him, like, you know, you're right about these cars. Like, they're dangerous. So I think he kind of learned his lesson.
What's in the works for the new car? Is it going to be another McLaren? Because, you know, the rap on that one was insane. So is there any talks of what's the next car he's going to get?
No, I think he's done buying cars for now, at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I want to switch gears. I want to talk about you for a second because as I was prepping for this interview, we was like looking through your Instagram and shit. And first of all, dog, you make the craziest content. Like, I'm talking like, if you haven't seen it, it's like dudes grabbing junks on the street and like super sexual. You see he got the freaking Twink Talk thing. You host a podcast, but like you are now like, you're kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like a Nepo. Are you a Nepo influencer? I guess we could. Do you think you're a Nepo?
I would say, yeah, I kind of am. I would say I've kind of like did my own type of content. I'm a little bit more of like a toned down Jack. And I guess I kind of target more of like the gay, like LGBTQ people. So
tell me about some of the stuff you talk about on the Twink Talk podcast. Because we saw the clips, but I just thought
I mean, I literally got my asshole nared on.
It's so wild.
On the podcast while my boyfriend was sitting there watching. We talk about controversial stuff, politics, everything.
Is there anything that you would never do on camera?
I don't know. Give me an example.
I dare you. I mean, I'm trying to think of something real.
I'm like, where are you going with this? You already know
I'm nasty. But like, I mean, I guess... You already got your asshole neared.
Do you already have an OnlyFans?
I do, yeah.
Okay. See, I wouldn't know because I don't have it, but I'm sure you do.
I mean...
Maybe.
I don't have an OnlyFans.
Oh.
What would I would not be at work right now if I had a fucking OnlyFans.
No, like, but you like you subscribe to somebody.
No, I don't.
Okay. Does anyone in the room have an OnlyFans? All right.
No shade on OnlyFans though, because
no shade.
I love porn, but I can't pay for it. I'm too poor.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't. I made sure it was blurred. I wouldn't do anything that wasn't blurred.
That's kind of what I'm at. Like, that's what I was going to ask. Like, in terms of OnlyFans, if you watch it, some of it can be, so I've heard. Some of it could be, I need to actually watch something so I could be, like, on it. But you can blur things and then not blur things, right?
Right.
Okay.
So are you going, like, full butt-ass naked on OnlyFans?
Full butt-ass naked.
Oh,
yeah.
We ain't even have
I'm not blurring.
Wait, you just said you were blurring.
Only on the podcast.
I'm talking about like on YouTube.
Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Guys, okay, for the viewers watching, podcast blurred. OnlyFans,
not
full
blurred.
throttle.
You can watch the podcast not blurred on OnlyFans.
Oh, that's smart actually.
Yeah.
Damn. We are living our lives wrong.
I know.
Mm-hmm. You guys could be doing this podcast.
Yep, exactly. Poppy pussies.
He goes, do this podcast naked.
Mike, what are some things that I know you have your podcast going, you got your OnlyFans, but like, what are some things that you're working on? Like, where are you taking your career to next?
I mean, I've been doing like a lot of like real estate investing. This podcast is kind of like my main new venture. And then I'm also like becoming a pilot. So that's another thing. I do a lot of different things.
That's cool.
That is really cool, actually. All right.
Do you think you'll film OnlyFans content in your plane?
I've taken like shirtless pictures in my plane, but nothing else.
Fired.
Yeah.
Fired.
Yeah. I'd probably get
fired immediately.
If I did anything else.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, once he has his own plane, he can film his OnlyFans content in there.
That is true. That is very true.
Not me helping with the business.
I'm just so intrigued about the fact that everybody's on OnlyFans except us. We're so poor. All right, well, we're going to work on our OnlyFans. I'm joking.
Right, I'm going to leave here and go make my OnlyFans. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Mike, tell the people where they can find you. Tell us your Instagram. Tell us the name of your podcast.
Yeah, so the podcast is Twink Talk Podcast. You can find my links by going to itsmichaeldoherty.com. And yeah.
How much is the OnlyFans?
We have a free one. And
I'm cracking up. I was joking.
I got...
He's like, what?
I got the free one. And then I got the, what is it, $10 a month one.
What do you get from the free one? What's the point of having a free one?
It's like pay-per-view, so like you pay for each description.
So you get paid still for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but you sell like individual videos as opposed to selling the whole shebang.
But for instance, like if you want to watch the podcast that I made uncensored without the blurs, I put it up for free.
He goes, if you'd like to see my butthole, then you can watch that. But if you'd like to see...
You can see all the hair go.
All right, bye. Bye, Doherty. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah.